been a minute. It's been a long minute. Y'all haven't been feeling good. School started back, and these kids sick every day, passing germs, getting me sick, and I can't recover from their sickness and their ailments. It's a new kind of germ, and it's killing me. But I'm back. I'm doing a lot better. Thank y'all for y'all concern and questions and asking where I've been. I appreciate it. But today, I have some special guests. This is going to be an entertaining and very informative show today. Again, emphasis on entertaining. I have a comedian in the house, y'all. So it's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good show. I'm excited. But let me talk about this real quick. As parents, you want to do what's best for your children. And that includes making difficult decisions. But sometimes that decision on their education, you have to weigh in, do you want free and convenient? Or do you want tuition and a better learning environment? You gotta weigh which one, free and convenient, or pay a little bit and get something a little bit better. And sometimes that's a hard decision to make. So today we're gonna discuss public school or not to public school. That's the question. Which one do you want? Let's think about that. So today, let me introduce my guests. We got two ladies. One's an educator. One straight up comedian, but that's my sister from another mother, my fellow Pisces. All right, my first person to my right here is Miss Kenya.
Yes,
Tell us about you.
Well, I am the new host of The Kink, Talking Dirty After Dark.
Dirty, y'all.
Saturdays at 8 p.m. So come and check us out. But I'm also an autism mom, an educator, and an entrepreneur.
All right. Y'all make sure y'all check her out. Next Saturday, 8 p.m. She's talking dirty. Real dirty. After dark. Get ready. All right. And then we have comedian extraordinaire.
Uh-oh. She putting so much on it, y'all.
I'm telling you, she funny, y'all. We've been cracking up for 2 hours straight.
Yes,
cracking up. But tell us about you.
My name is Shaunie B, and if you're cool with me, fool with me. She's putting a lot on it. I am.
She is. She's
I was told I was funny.
She
I just
funny
like to
for
go
real.
by and say funny things. But you can catch me on Sunday, 4 to 5 on Shaunie's World. But today I'm blessing the platform of Lady P, my Piscean.
Yes.
And I'm not an educator, but I've been educated.
Hey, say that. Say that.
Yes.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
And I'm a mother, yes.
Oh yeah, she's a mother. Yes, she is a mother.
Tax season is coming. It's coming, baby.
Yes.
Yes.
I've had conversations with both of these ladies about this to public school or not to public school. And they had some really interesting point of views on what they're doing, why they're doing it, and what they're going to choose in the future. It's going to make for a great show. But I want to give you a little statistics about what we have. We have, in the United States right now, we have about 56 million kids in public schools. And that's actually gone up. It used to be 49 million kids in public school. That's a lot of kids, y'all. That is a lot of kids getting free education. Now, private school, there's still about 5.8 million. And that's gone down. And I'm wondering why has it gone down? Is it because it takes two parents, to pay for that? Or what? But 6.1 million and it dropped to 5.8 million. That's still a lot of kids in private school. As far as homeschooling, there's not a lot of statistics on that yet, but we're going to get into that as well and talk about the pros and cons of homeschooling. Why should you do it? Why should you not do it? So, and we know that every child in the U.S. have to receive an education. Anywhere from the age of 5 to 16, they are required by the law to be in school. And we have to ensure that they are a part of the educational system. Most parents choose public school. Like I said, free, convenient, public school. While others would choose to put their kids in private school or homeschool. So we're going to talk about this today. What is your preference? Homeschool, public school, And y'all, I'm a public educator, so I want to know why you don't want to come to public school. Why? What's the problem? So let's start with you, Kenya. Are you homeschooling? Because I think you have a few girls. Are you homeschooling? What you doing?
We thought about homeschooling.
Mm-hmm.
It was a real possibility because public school was failing us. So we actually moved to a charter school that was best for my girls.
Oh, we didn't call early. Is that the school board?
Right?
Yeah, it looks like the school board. I don't think this is for us.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't think
nervous.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, got me nervous. When they pulled up, I don't think that was for us.
So we're actually we're new to Texas. We're a year in, and the first thing I did was Google what was the best school system in Texas,
Right.
and that's where we moved. From day one, there was issues. Being an autism mom, you know, we went the route of general education.
Right.
We didn't want her into special education because as an educator, I worked in special education and I just kind of seemed like she would not progress.
Right.
So the school really pushed us towards special education, and I didn't agree with that because with my child, she's not going to get accommodations when she gets into the real world.
Right.
So why give her accommodations now? She needs to learn how to adapt, because having autism doesn't mean you can't learn.
Right.
There's some of the smartest children out there.
Definitely. Is she what type of autism does she have?
She's actually rare form because she is a female with Asperger's and high functioning.
Really?
Yes. And high functioning autism.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, because most of the ones that I know with Asperger's, they're males.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. So you chose charter school.
Yes.
Why did you not choose private school or homeschooling?
Well, one, being a single mom, you know, I can't afford to put putting one and not putting the other, that's not fair.
Got you.
So, and even looking at private schools kind of put them in the box and are not equipped to handle children with disabilities. So that was a really big issue because some teachers, they kind of went the old school route and just excluded them.
So if you have students with disabilities, what you're saying is your only option is either public school or pretty much charter school.
Or homeschool.
Or homeschool.
Yes.
That's it. Wow. So, Miss Shaunie B.
That's me.
You have a son that's about to go to school.
Yeah, he's 3.
He's 3, and you're thinking about where you should put him. What are the best options for you and your family? So you know your son, and you know a few things of what's going on in public school because we had a long conversation. And where right now, what are some of your options?
Possibly moving to another country.
Okay, we're just gonna leave.
We gotta get his passport right. Right now, before we started home training or home teaching him. So, to me, looking at the levels of education that these children are on at 3, well, I'll say 2 because we started teaching him really early. It made me nervous to say that he would be too ready, and I don't want him to be dummied down just to fit in.
Right.
So now that we have not only that portion, but the bullying side of it, now I'm scared to let my son go to any type of school, regardless.
Are you afraid your son will get bullied?
Now it's 50-50.
Or he will be the bully?
Both. Like, yeah, I've been seeing some signs.
Yeah,
I may have to.
A little bit of his mama.
I may have to go. Yeah, some other stuff going on. But I just feel like he would be so smart that he would be a target to be bullied. But then taking up for himself, he may in turn look like the bully. So it's like 50-50. I'm still up in the air of letting him attend a school at 4 because I want him to have the ability to communicate with others. Because he's the only child. He will only be the only child.
You
say
sure
that.
about
I left my uterus at the hospital.
Oh.
So he will be the only child.
Yeah,
I'm
forever.
telling you for facts. Yes. But I want him to be able to he doesn't have any in-home siblings, no cousins or anything. So I want him to be able to deal with others outside of daycare, because there's no more daycare after this, 4 or 5 months.
So have you thought about Montessori schools?
The way that my finances are set up, nah. But I've heard good things about it.
A lot of them have scholarships.
Okay.
So the scholarships, applying for a scholarship, you can
Get it paid for all the way through.
Yes.
I've only seen one in Las Colinas. It doesn't mean there's not others, but I did not know that was an option.
Yes.
So charter, private, public, home, and that school.
Montessori.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm hopeful for him going into a 4-year-old program. But after that, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, I'm nervous. I don't know what my options are at that point. Still up in there.
And see, and I love that you mentioned bullying, because my oldest daughter, she actually, she was skipped up a grade in 2nd grade.
Okay.
Because she was ahead of the game. And with that being said, when she entered 5th grade, that was the last year of elementary school, she got bullied so bad because everyone was much older than her. She was very smart, and but she wasn't emotionally ready to be with the older kids.
Right. So it was still a disadvantage.
And we actually had a suicide scare because she couldn't handle it. She just really couldn't handle it, and she had an action plan. So I completely understand what you're talking about.
It's nerve-wracking, yeah. But I respect all educators and what you guys provide for our children, because you aren't the problem.
Right.
It's the environment and the students that's the problem. That's scaring parents like me.
Right. Because I was looking at some of the pros and cons of public schooling. I mean, there's a lot. There's quite a few, as far as all teachers are certified by the state of Texas.
They are not.
Whoa.
Teachers are supposed to be
They are not.
in public school. In charter school, they're not required.
Right.
So they just come from the streets?
Yeah.
No, you
Well,
have to,
you have.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, wait a minute.
So I also, the school that my kids go to, that's where I work. And so you have to get alternative certification. All you need is a bachelor's degree to teach. And with the alternative certification, you have 3 years in order to take your test.
Any degree, or specifically education?
No, any degree.
Oh.
Any degree.
Any degree. So you can be completely left of what education is and come in and teach
And then take your test, pass, and
Right.
that's your certification.
Correct.
For charter.
for charter.
And that's charter in public, but private school you do not have to have one.
Certification.
Correct.
Or any experience with a bachelor's degree or anything?
Yes,
You just walk in.
in some schools.
Ouch.
Yeah, in some of the private schools, it's not required. They may require you to take a class or two to say that I've taken some educational courses, but it's not required that you have a certification from the state.
No wonder why I'm seeing a bunch of people that they're not fit to be there.
Right.
They just were hireable.
Right, they're hireable. Yeah, and but some charter schools, I do know a couple that they do not have certified teachers.
Yeah,
The pay is lower.
Right.
it's much lower.
Yeah, it's a lot lower because they do not require certification.
Gotcha.
It's best to get
Y'all
one.
better teach me, honey. Teach.
Well, and then also, I'm not talking bad about our school.
Right,
Not mentioning
right,
the name.
right.
But they go to other countries and bring in teachers because even though they're getting paid lower, it's more money than what they're making in their own country.
Right.
And they pretty much pay for everything, housing, their work visa, everything,
Wow.
in order to get them here.
That's interesting because I know there's a lot of programs that come into our schools and they want us to go to their country and teach English.
Right.
And they do the same thing, but I did not realize that we were actually teaching me something now.
Would you do that? Would you go to Japan or China?
Yeah, I have registered. Actually, I was supposed to go to Afghanistan. No, so I'm sorry, Dubai.
Okay, I
A
was
few
saying,
years
girl,
ago.
I was saying, girl, you ain't gonna be safe.
No, but they're hiring.
I bet they are.
And it's good money
Yes,
because
very
it's
good
tax
money.
free. You do not have to pay for that.
After 364 days.
Well, yeah, but most of the time you're not coming back anyway, as long as you don't stay over 60 days.
Well, if you have a R&R, you'll come back
Yeah.
30 days, but then that doesn't count against you.
Right. Yeah, and
Interesting.
I know for education they pay for it.
Right.
They pay for you to come back. So Yeah, it's worth it because it's tax free. Good money. I had a friend. He actually paid off his house.
Will he pay off my house?
I don't know about that.
Okay,
I
because
don't-
if
you
you
know,
close my door, get fed.
Because
I give him something.
Okay, that's fine. Don't play with me, Ken.
Now, also, I was thinking about this. You said your daughters are in charter school. Your daughters are not in public school.
Right.
And I've always wanted to ask this question to someone. How do you feel about having to pay taxes to a school or to a school district, and you do not have kids enrolled in that school district?
That's a good question because I honestly really never thought about it. I don't think it's fair because the money's not going towards the charter schools.
Not at all.
And, you know, I mean, that's something to think about.
Gotta get deep in here.
That's something to think about because I'm like, oh, no. I can put that in my gas tank.
Exactly.
Can I comment? That's
You sure can.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's like if I don't have any kids. It's like
Right.
we're living in Mansfield, where 52% of the tax dollars go towards the school system.
Correct.
So what benefit would I have?
Right.
If I own a home there, I'm still paying property tax, but whatever extra amount of tax I'm paying is going towards the school system. So
You better have some kids.
wow.
Leave it in there a little bit. Just let it stay in
I
there.
think you and I should have one.
Who?
Okay, thank you.
Stay playing.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
That's crazy because
Yeah.
I've noticed when I look at my breakdown, I do see a percentage going towards schools, hospitals, and everything like that. But I assumed that meant all schools.
No.
I didn't know that.
That's only public school.
So who's funding the charter school?
They're grant funded.
yes.
So, yes, they are completely grant funded from the food program to security to everything in the school is completely by grants.
But charter school is still free to go to.
Yes.
You just have to be on the list to get in.
Some do vouchers.
Okay.
Well, our school isn't.
Yours isn't a voucher. So
Because the town that we are in, they actually have two schools, and they're two different towns. The town that we're in doesn't really support charter schools. So we don't have a lot of parents putting their students in the school. Now,
that's why.
the other location is packed on a lottery.
Right.
We have 400 students in our school,
How many grade levels?
kindergarten through 12.
400.
400.
Right. Right. Because my high school had about 1,000.
We have our teachers don't teach one specified grade. They rotate grades. So you may have a seventh grade teacher teaching 7th, 8th, and 9th. And then they would transition to another class, and then they would get maybe science, and they're rotating the grades as well.
So you have to really be smart because if you're not good at math and you get that rotation, then you're doomed.
Well, our kids, they don't fit inside the box. They're outside the box thinking, so we have outside the box education. So everything is computer based, and the teachers load up all their assignments, and the kids can work at their own pace. They just have due dates.
Okay, I get that.
Interesting.
I get that. Yeah, because I mean, I know we do that as well. We load everything into it's called Google Classroom, because Google has a classroom that's set up, and you put everything in there. You just set your dates, and they have to turn it in by that particular date. That's one thing that public school is now moving into, which is having technology for all students. But
It's a downfall
yes,
because your kids don't learn how to write anymore.
Nope.
They don't know how to spell anymore.
No.
They're not charter schools cannot give spelling tests.
most schools are not.
Really?
Yes, most schools are not giving spelling tests. Public schools not doing it because we have to teach to a test. Did I say that? Yes, I did. So, you guys do not have to teach to a test.
Right.
Private school does not have to teach to a test. Homeschool does not have to teach to a test.
Like the test that they take,
That STAR test.
Okay, so if
No,
you're
we have to take the STAR.
Yeah, but you're not teaching to it.
Yes, we are.
I mean, every assignment you're given is based off of that STAR test.
Yes. Yes. And because we just did our oh my gosh, our compact tests.
Right.
We just did those last week. So yeah, we're teaching, but we have. It's complicated because our school is a multilingual school. So it's required that kindergarten through 6th grade, they have to learn Mandarin and Spanish.
Mandarin.
Yes. Mandarin? I thought that was a sauce for nuggets. Mandarin? What is that? That was some Chick-fil-A sauce.
So they're learning Chinese.
They are learning Chinese and Spanish. And
Spanish.
Yes, ma'am. So we have students in the school that doesn't even speak English.
But you need Mandarin. Okay.
You need Mandarin.
Not French.
Right.
No, it's
Okay,
Mandarin.
my question. Now I got a question.
Okay.
Who decided Mandarin? I mean, I can understand Spanish. I can understand French. I can understand.
It's where the money's at.
Yeah, you're right.
Because where the school is, it's a lot of corporations, and the
Right.
corporations are Chinese-based corporations.
That's smart though.
They failed me though. They failed me because I still don't know Spanish, and I went through about 5 or 6 levels of it. I just know Hola. Like I'm stuck, and they learning this. Oh man.
So when do they start?
In kindergarten.
Wow.
In kindergarten, yes.
Spanish
And Mandarin, yes. Mandarin is part of, Spanish is incorporated in the classroom. So English, math, social studies, it's all taught in English and Spanish.
At the same time?
They have even kindergarten, they transition to different classrooms. So during the middle of the day, they will go to another classroom. We have one English speaking teacher, we have one Spanish speaking teacher. And so that's how they're learning everything. But then our Mandarin is incorporated into their specials. So,
Specials.
Specials, we call art, PE.
Oh, okay.
We call those specials.
Okay.
So that's incorporated into the specials. So instead of going to music class one day, they'll go to, Mandarin.
I am basic. I'm a basic adult. I know English, Ebonics, and 2 words of Spanish. And these kids are getting in kindergarten?
Yes. But also another good thing about the school is they skipped a couple of grades, but the 11th and 12th graders have to pick Mandarin as a language as well. But our school offers a program where they can earn their associate's degree in their from 9th grade till they graduate.
Right. Now, I will say this: public schools, most high school, if it's a lot of urban areas, they have theme schools.
Mm-hmm.
So they have schools that are set up if you want to do culinary, if you want to be a firefighter, if you want to the arts, whatever whatever you want to focus into, hairstyling. Right. They have schools catered for that, so it helps them. And then there's also schools that give them their associates at the same time. So they come out of school with an associate's degree and a high school diploma.
Right.
So they're already halfway there. So that's something to think about for high school. So you may want to start him out private. No, maybe not private because that's funds, it's extra money.
Right. But scholarship, she said.
Yes. But start him out there, and then high school. You may want to think about secondary school where you're going to send him.
Right.
Yeah, because it changes. There's certain things. I mean, public school, I know they have cut out in some areas art, PE, and a lot of those electives, but you can still get that at private schools and charter schools.
Well, I'm a product of public school.
Mm-hmm.
I loved my public school. It made me who I am today. Being able to cope with those situations of bullying, being able to cope with having the opportunity to do band, drama, industrial tech.
Right.
I knew adulting in high school. For me, now that it's not available source for a lot of kids, they get out and they're like, what?
You said adulting?
Adulting, yes. So I knew how to...
Can you break down adulting?
Adulting is like knowing the skill sets to be on your own, being independent on your own.
Social skills, y'all.
Social skills, adulting, they change up the words. They put a little season on it. Now they saying adulting. So I did industrial tech as my, elective, and I did band, and I did drama. So when I got out, mine was more of an arts business type of ordeal. I didn't have an associate's, but that was just my diploma focus.
Right.
But I had hands-on skills to get me to be an adult. So that's when I said adulting. So, but now I'm like nervous because there's, like you said, they're cutting out PE. They're cutting out all of these things. And it's crazy to hear you say that school does all of that, because now I want to go back and fake being an adult, being a child just to get that experience. But You're giving me some hope. You've given me some hope. I will say Texas was a good move for my family for the sake of all of this opportunity for education. Because Memphis and Little Rock, where myself and my husband both attended school, the education based on your neighborhood is poor.
Right.
Our books are old. Our teachers don't care.
Well, that's still happening in public school too.
Yeah.
Well, true, but we only had 1 or 2 schools. Where here, it's like 15 schools in my neighborhood alone,
Right.
and those are
That's
all
true.
elementary schools.
Well, I mean, you can have good schools, or you can have a lot of schools, but are they good schools?
Exactly.
That's true, too.
We have a lot of children from Louisiana in our school, and half of them can't read or write.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's just because of the education system, the way it was
So-
structured
right,
there.
Right.
So we're starting over from basics.
Right, which is taken away from your time and your books and your
And,
right.
and see, that's the thing for public school. What's hard is you have kids lumped in together. You have one person reading on a 3rd grade level. You have one person reading not reading. And then you have another person that's on a 10th grade high school, college level.
Right.
And now you got to try to balance out what you need to do. But most of the time, you know who's going to get your attention? That lower student. Because that higher student, they can function
Independent.
Yeah.
And with the charter school, those kids that need your attention, they're able to move on and continue what they're learning, because we're beyond Google Classroom. We're
Right.
Epic, Eduphoria, Lexia. So we're using all those programs, and they get to move ahead and not wait for the teacher.
Yeah, see, that's the thing you miss out on in public school, because everyone's lumped together, everyone's
Right.
together, and
It's too many teachers. It's one teacher for too many students, whereas
30.
yours is more
Right.
a smaller
Small
class.
class.
right. We're overcrowded.
Yeah, to the
'cause
max.
We have anywhere from at least 18 to 35, 32 kids.
32 kids for one teacher
One teacher
in one class.
in one class.
We
Yeah.
have a total, I'm just using our 6th graders. There's a total of 47 6th graders in the entire school.
See, I got like 4 students, like you said, in the class. Roughly no more than 10. But
We-
everybody's
well,
advanced.
well, we split the class up, and so they're spread out into different teachers.
So yeah, they are learning, and if they're left behind, they can catch up. Like
Exactly.
you said.
Right.
Exactly.
Man, public school.
Yeah, because we have our 7th grade alone. We only have 2 grade levels at my particular school, and we have 550 7th graders and 490 8th graders.
How many teachers?
Not enough.
That's right, because I'm looking at you trying to divide your head. It was
I was like, no, yeah, not enough. Not enough, because we're some. Now, the funny part about that is the students that are gifted and talented, those classes are very small.
I didn't even know they still had those classes. Gifted and
Yes.
talented?
Yeah.
GT, we call it GT back in my day.
Yeah, but normally our GT kids, they just normal average kids.
They just focus more. They're more organized.
They have the social skills to sit there and to
learn.
focus. But other than that, if you put them somewhere else, they're not necessarily GT kids. They're just disciplined.
Right.
That's the only difference. Because and then you have to think about everyone else is so low.
Right.
If most of the kids are starting out 3rd grade, and then you get to them, it's like, oh wow, they can sit here and they want to learn. They're sponges, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, they're gifted and talented.
But they're really just disciplined
They're just disciplined
and willing to learn.
and willing to learn and willing to put in the work to do it without saying,
Man.
it's too hard. I can't do this.
And see, and our gifted and talented is kind of different because we truly have GT kids. We have kids that are doing production, making movies.
What's their number? I need somebody to run my YouTube.
I am dead serious. Last year we had a fashion show. The fashion show was for our girls group that's there, but the students completely put it together. Lighting, stage building, everything.
We need some interns.
That's what I need is an intern.
But it also go by the area. So you
Right.
have to look around in your area and look at what is there and what do you have? What are they giving you? Because if you don't have a lot of parents, especially for public schools, if you do not have parents that's advocating for what they want in their school, it's not happening because the government gives you that money and you have limitations on what you can do with that money.
Right.
But if parents are advocating and say, hey, my my kid needs this, X, Y, and Z. We're not taking these old books. We're not taking this type of education. Why are these classrooms so large? It's going to get fixed. Because public schools are actually, they're pretty much run by the people.
Right.
Parents. But if parents do not speak up, then guess who's running it? The government.
Right.
Right.
And they're not there. They're not coming to the campus.
No.
They're just sending funds.
Oh,
and
they're
shit to
coming. They're looking at your data. They're looking at your scores. They're saying, well, what's wrong with these kids? Why they're
They
not?
gotta be their hands on. They can't just be looking at these numbers.
They look at numbers only.
Man.
So you have some options again.
See, and I'm glad you say that because our school, I kind of hate it because I feel like the kids are a zoo in a box because every Thursday, all the administrative people come and they tell everybody because our school is complete lockdown. So doors are shut at all times, windows are closed at all times.
Right.
They're like, 8:00 in the morning, please open your windows, teachers, and administration goes through and looks at every single classroom, and they're making sure you have your PBLs on the wall. They have, what your class is structured to be, that it's showing in your classroom.
Right. It's very similar to public school. It's the same thing. Because right now, my school is under the microscope as far as we're part charter, part public. And so we have the person or the group that took over the charter part, they come in and make sure our school is structured like that. Do you have your learning objective up? Do you have what you're teaching? Do the kids know what you're teaching?
Right.
Because they will come in and ask them, what you learning today?
Right.
So it's a show. A lot of public schools are shows. So you have that to watch out for. Because a lot of people don't realize the kids are in there, they know how to act.
And they are some actors.
They are actors. They know. Or some of them, who are you? What you want? Why you in here? They will ask. So it just depends. Some knows how to, the social skills again, those social skills. Yeah.
School has changed.
School is not the same.
It's not. They actually had a bill that they just passed or are trying to pass to where they put cursive writing back into the school.
Yes.
Which is crazy because
Yes.
I learned cursive. You can't sign a legal document without doing cursive. So what have our children been trained to do? Just print their lives away?
Yes, the past 15 years, I actually teach it. I have little sketch
Yeah, the little
things.
sketch line paperwork.
And that's what they practice because they'll ask, Miss, can you teach us how to write in cursive?
That's crazy.
It's like, yeah. And I'm thinking, what happened? What?
That stopped.
Yeah,
Like 10 years ago, that stopped.
But you know what? Again, if we had parents that
That
were,
say that.
this is what my kid will need. They will need to know how to sign a legal document in the future. Why aren't we teaching this? It's there.
It's so important when they have those parent-teacher meetings
Yes.
for the parents to come in. You have, coming from Oklahoma, our school was a Title I school. Yeah, Title I school. Very, very much under the poverty line.
Right.
There are some parents that would never come. The teachers would be sitting there all day,
Yes.
waiting just to do a parent conference and wouldn't show up.
It's crazy. My mom was there. She met you.
Right.
Even when I was doing
Right.
good in school. You know, I was a class clown, but she still went. Nah,
Yeah, I can't see that.
Me either,
I
you
don't know what
know?
you're talking about.
But my grades was up to par.
Okay.
But she would go in and meet my teacher regardless if I was doing good or not. But like you said, the classroom is empty. I didn't even know they still did parent-teacher conferences because I don't see parents going. I don't even see them going to the regular events outside of sports. I don't see parents interacting with the faculty unless there's
They
a
don't. They don't.
attitude issue.
Now, in private schools,
Right.
they interact because
They fund it. They got to pay for that.
they paying for it. Yeah, so they're there. They're very active.
Right. See where my money going.
Yeah, where's my money going?
Right.
Or if you have a school that has a strong PTA.
Yes.
I didn't even know they still had that because, again, the schools have changed from when I was a student, and I'm like, what is this?
It's there. It's just that you do not have a lot of people advocating for it. You do not see a lot of people out there saying, hey, you know how we had bake sales?
Yeah.
Selling cookies, cakes.
None of that. Do y'all even have student council anymore?
No.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
we
was-
used to be like kicking it.
I tried student council for about 3 years. and we couldn't get it going.
That's the voice the students had to be
Yes.
with. Okay,
Yes.
I'm not crazy.
But that goes back to the millennium
Right.
area
Right.
because they don't know how to socially
Voice.
Advocate for themselves.
advocate for themselves or socially interact.
Right.
And that's what I'm
outside the
scared
computer.
because yes, they're incorporating these tablets and everything's on a computer, but when it comes to the real world, the computer is not going to be in your hand. So how are these kids really adapting to interviewing and talking about what they want and desire besides hitting right click? Did you mean? Because if you spell something wrong, did you mean hit enter? It's going to change it.
Right.
Right.
There's some words you ask your student right now how to spell pneumonia, they wouldn't know how to spell it.
Because they spell check.
Right. So why I'm nervous. We're relying on technology.
Or a lot of times they're reading and they'll come up, Miss, what is that word? Include. Oh, that's not, and they come up with these words and I'm thinking, how did you come up with that? That means include. But I can't find it in a dictionary. Included, because they added ed.
It threw them off.
It just out. Just-
Right. If they don't have that squiggly red line in their text message, they wouldn't even know. They think they're spelling it. I had to reread so many text messages. I'm like, what is this? Call me, please, because they're pronouncing it how it sounds,
Sounds,
and they don't
exactly.
know phonetically that's not right.
Right.
So what
'Cause
are we doing?
Phonetics not taught anymore.
Right, and that's what's making me nervous.
Yeah, phonetics.
Everything is abbreviated.
Correct.
Yes.
Now you have a choice of homeschooling. You can stay home with your baby, and you can get everything that you want done.
Right.
Homeschooling, but
Yeah. Tell me the bees.
somebody has to stay home and teach that.
Right.
But you don't get paid to do this. This is just something
Somebody got to stay home.
you're in control of doing. Yeah, I've been
Who's
preaching
staying home?
homeschooling all day long, but it sound good.
Because that homeschooling was an option for me.
Yeah.
It was an option, and it's
Still a possibility.
it's still a possibility because, even though our charter school is great for right now, it may not be great for the future.
I'm about to enroll.
One thing I will tell you to make sure the charter school that you choose, a lot of students that cannot make it in public schools go to charter schools.
Correct.
I mean, I am about to enroll. Not my child. No, me, the adult, is about to enroll in your charter school. Get my son, he catch
Now,
up.
all charter schools are not like hers.
Yes.
Well, yeah, hers sound magical.
Yeah, she's in a good neighborhood, and someone has advocated for that.
Right.
Because a lot of charter schools, they have vouchers, and you're on a lottery. So even if you do not need to be there, when they roll and they pull your name, hey, number 265, you are in.
That's it?
That's it.
But if my son's number don't get called, then I'm now a public school.
You
Right.
are now a public school
Right.
or a homeschooler.
So how do you get into this lottery?
You have to go and put your name on the list.
On the list. And you wait.
But there is a due date. You have to do a
Yes.
complete application,
Yes.
an essay for some,
Yes,
and
Yes.
it's almost like a college application.
it is. It's serious.
Interesting. I did not know it was a lottery.
Yes, and they
Like literally pulling
yes,
names.
And
literally.
see, we had to deal with that from the beginning of the school year living in Connecticut. Connecticut has magnet schools.
Yes,
And with the magnet schools, every magnet school is on a lottery.
right, right.
Do y'all have magnets here? Because
Yes.
I've yet to see one.
They have magnets here.
Interesting.
It's not a lot because there's very few of them because
Right.
a lot of schools are now catered to instead of having vocational schools, they put it in the high school where you can get your training or certification.
That's crazy because my mom, when I was a kid, put me on the magnet list. Do you know when they called me? My
you
junior
graduate?
year. I said, no. There was kindergarten now put on that list. It was bad. I should have took it, but no, like I said, I love my public school. So
As a parent, there's a movie it's an old movie. It's called Waiting for Superman.
Oh, that's so good.
And that is every new parent should watch this
Yes.
movie.
Watch
It-
this for me.
Yes.
It tells you about charter schools, public schools, how people are on the waiting list, how they move teachers around
Yes.
because they're not successful in their current schools,
Right.
so they move them to worse schools just so they can continue to have a job, but
Right.
these children don't get education.
Right. And it's a lot of it's based off the DC.
Yes.
Yes, that's the school. That's the movie I was telling you about. Yeah. Yeah.
man,
Yes.
scary world.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, you have to really be an advocate for your child.
Yes.
You have to know what you're looking for and know what's out there and what's not out there. I mean, because like I said, homeschooling, you have flexibility. You have the time. You choose what you want to give your child, but it's very expensive because you have to pay for the books.
That's what somebody told me. She has to go through and get what's needed for their age group. I didn't look at it like that. I just thought they give you the curriculum and boom.
They have one, it's called K through 12.
That's a new one.
And K through 12, you don't have to pay for the books.
Right.
They provide everything. They provide internet connection for you.
Okay.
They provide the computer for you. And then they give you a yearly stipend so you can do extracurricular activities with
Maybe
your
that's
kids.
what she was telling me about on YouTube.
Because now they have it's set up where there's a local community at like a YMCA or a gym,
Yes.
and they have people. You guys can meet up to give your kids the social interactions that they would need. Art, media,
Museums
music.
have homeschool day. They have actually homeschool associations where you can put them into sports
Right.
as well.
Right. Now, some private schools or some charter schools, well, private schools, I think, and I believe some homeschools, you can join the public schools team.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can play sports with them.
But as a charter school, we have our own sports.
You have yours? Yes. Yeah. Only thing about the charter school, they will not receive the same recognition as if it was the high school. You know, either 5A, 4A.
Okay, so they
Right.
won't have that. So when it's time for you guys to, I guess, recruit to go on, it would just be in the arms of that parent to make that tape and put their
Yes.
child out.
Correct.
Yes.
It won't be any recruits that's
No.
coming in.
Because like right now, soccer is really big for us.
Okay.
And our school is probably 80% Hispanic. And so, you have the parents out there pushing, but we have a couple of gymnasts that are in our school as well, and they're leaving school. School's over Monday through Thursday, school's over at 3:30. On Friday, school is out at 3. And so you have students that are leaving every day at 1 and 2 o'clock in order to be at their gymnastic practice or
And they don't get
sports.
dinged for that?
They don't because they're independently working.
Right.
So they are working.
This is a lot. This is a lot for Sunday. God, my head is just like charter. Go to all these charter schools. Man, that's good to know. Cause I was nervous. I really was. I was like, "Oh, son, can we turn your age back a little bit? Can we turn you back to a newborn?" But this is good.
No. Has your mind changed, or are you still on the same path? Or have you decided yet?
It's hubby did his proactiveness and he got an application for him to start school. He didn't fill it out, but he got the application for him to start. It's a start.
It's a start. It's a start. For
So
next
he's
year.
doing. He'll be 4 in January. So I'm assuming he'll start in August sometime. I'm assuming because I don't know how it works.
Yes, it's a September 1st rule.
September.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
so he's good.
So he's in there like swimwear, and I don't know if we're both pushing towards the charter side. The area we're in, there are a lot of good elementary schools, so I'm hopeful that he will be able to be advanced and stay advanced.
Now you can also make it's like you can go to the school and tell them, I want to, observe and see what I'm getting into, and they'll let you come in and observe. Now you got to do a background check and all that, but
Right.
Well, the good thing is my hubby works for the city, so the schools that are in the area that my son would attend, he knows those teachers because those students go to him.
good.
He's like the after school care specialist for the city.
Okay.
So it's running neck and neck. That's why I'm
Yeah.
not so nervous for K through whatever
Right,
it is.
right.
I'm just more nervous for the other age groups.
Secondary.
Secondary, thank you.
And that's kind of my situation as well because
Yeah.
I'm like, I have a nursing degree.
Come on, nurse.
But I went into the education system because I wanted to be in the schools that my kids were in. So every year, mom has been there from the time they were in second grade.
They know you know you.
Yeah.
So if you do wrong,
Mama knows.
Call me.
they knocking on my door. Miss Escobar, you need to have a chat with your child.
Right, and that's the type of rapport I want to have. Like, I don't want them to be scared. I want them to call me because I got PTO. I have PTO build up
Right.
for punishment.
Right.
I gotta go, job, and then bring them corners.
But we started my first daughter. We started off in private school.
Okay.
And I really think it was a great foundation for her. But as time went on, I just knew I could not afford to have all 3 in private school.
You have all 3 girls?
3 girls.
What? 3 girls?
Yes.
Ooh-wee.
Yes.
Question for you. You said you started in private school. When you say there's a great foundation for it, what made it a great foundation?
My kids went to a Catholic school.
Okay.
My first two went to a Catholic school. And, they had the foundation where we were more like a family because it was so small. I knew everything. Plus, it was part of our church.
Right.
So, inside school, outside school, they were still around these kids. And my daughter, my oldest daughter till this day, she's in 7th grade. She still keeps in contact with these kids that she went to private school with.
Wow.
Because they, from kindergarten, from actually pre-K to 2nd grade, they were in every class together and they became really, a tight-knit group.
Wow. Now, as far as your older daughter, how did the one with autism, how did she fit into the private school? How did it work with her?
My
youngest.
yes,
I'm
my
sorry,
youngest. So she actually did not go. We sent her to a specialty school, and it was a parent-owned school, and it was for children with disabilities.
Gotcha.
So their structure was that they did 50% disability, 50% inclusive. Typical children.
Right.
So they would learn, it was parallel learning.
Right.
So they would learn off of the typical children.
See, that's kind of, public school is all inclusive. It's called inclusion. So your child, what's your son's name?
Princeton, baby P, Bam. Depending on how he is, hyper, calm, or ready to learn. Princeton, if he's ready to learn. Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna call him Bam.
Bam Bam when he's hyper.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're gonna say Bam Bam showed up today.
Yeah.
So Bam Bam, for some reason, they put him in the inclusion class. Now, inclusion class means he's in a class with students that may have special needs,
Okay.
and he's in a class with students that may be GT, and he's in a class with students that are on level and below level, but they're not special ed.
Right.
So all of that is in one classroom. Now, Bam Bam, because that day he's acting like Bam Bam.
Right.
Because Princeton just left the room.
He left.
Yeah, Princeton didn't show up. So Bam Bam shows up. Now you have to, in public school, all of that in one room, but you as a mother would not know that's what's going on. You would not know that that is an inclusion class with special educated students in that room.
Right.
You would never know.
Unless he comes home and tells you.
Yeah, unless he finds out some type of way.
Right.
Interesting, because my school, and I will talk from the high school level, there was a special class, and it was on a particular wing.
No,
And
ma'am.
that one wing was for special education.
No,
What?
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. They are all in the same classroom.
So when my youngest daughter entered, they did not have enough paras. And so what I had to do is I did a private pay para through the school district.
Wow.
Where I had someone in class if she had behaviors.
Right.
Because if not, then she was in lockdown.
Right. See, and there are a lot of public schools have, they have even another room that there's a special education room, because I teach in that classroom, and normally there's 2 teachers in there. So if there's 2 teachers, there's one teacher she's the inclusion teacher. She's the one that handles all the special needs and, making sure that they are on level and this and that. And then there's the general ed teacher, general education teacher.
Okay.
Now there's another level as to what she was speaking of. There's a separate classroom, but those particular kids, they are not self-sufficient.
Right.
They may be in Pampers, they may be in diapers,
But you had. Can I?
Go ahead.
When she started school, the school that she was in, the special education room was 2 teachers. It was kindergarten through 2nd grade, and 3rd grade through 5th grade.
Okay.
And so, if you had a kid that high functioning autism, can sit down, learn, do everything else, and he's in 2nd grade, and you have a child that is severe Down syndrome and can't even say his name, they are all coloring together.
yes,
They are not teaching this high functioning child
no,
anything to progress him.
yeah,
So if the group decides they don't want to work,
they're not
Then
working.
their group is not working.
then that group is not working.
crazy because when I was in middle school, my friend Tasha, she was in the special wing, but they incorporated, how you said earlier, they put them in an environment so they can be adaptive.
Right.
So I was her aide. The teacher was still there, but she would sit with me and we would learn together. And then probably for like 45 minutes to an hour, and then she would go back to her wing class. But I was her aide during that English class or science class.
So now Tasha would actually stay in that regular classroom
With me, right.
with you, but they would have a teacher in there instead of you. Now I may pair you up with her because you work well with her,
Right.
Because I got 30 other kids in here and I don't have time.
I didn't know what the purpose of it was. I mean, Tasha was my girl now. Tasha was cool. But it was cool to see her being able to adapt to us and not being stuck in a room. And like you said, if one person didn't want to learn, she didn't learn. Like she was learning based off of us. Now she picked up some bad habits from other kids.
Of course.
But she still got to be adaptive, which was cool for me because now I could be in her world and she could be in mine.
Right.
But I don't think they do that anymore.
Can I comment real quick?
About Tasha?
Sorry. No.
Oh, okay. Like, you know Tasha?
No. It's funny because Patricia, I think I shared this with you that from my first grade through my 12th grade, and I was in DC public schools, right? And they had me classified as handicapped student. I was actually classified now because I had a learning disability. I had an issue with speech. Okay. So I remember my second grade, I read very well, but my words wouldn't pronunciate it properly.
Right.
So they stuck me in what they call a handicapped class. And I'm in this class with people who are in diapers. There are other folks who had other disabilities, wheelchairs and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't fit in here, but I had to go through this. So by the time I got in high school, I say around the 10th grade, my speech had almost completely cleared up so much that I didn't even recognize it.
So that class was good for you or bad for you?
Well, I'm just saying because by the time I got in high school, I was actually focused towards broadcasting. It's funny because the communications, tell you how to speak, how to do public speaking, stuff like that, blah, blah. So from the 10th grade, the classes I were in, they were still considered handicapped classes, which I'm aging myself because they don't call it
Yeah, because they don't do that anymore.
They don't call that
now. We don't call it that.
Yeah, but I had a separate class I had to go to. So everyone else had 6 classes, I had 7. So I had to go to that extra class. And it was somewhere during the schedule, depends on what year it was, and it was stuck in there. So it was like a 40-minute class that I had to go in just to be around other sick kids. So I feel kind of traumatized by it.
Yeah, so how did that make you feel?
Well, it taught me to appreciate people with disabilities.
There you have it. Same for me with Tasha. I was like, but that it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
It is. It's a patience that you get.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I've taught special ed for the past 13 years. It's something that we gravitate to each other for some reason.
Right. You learn something from them all the time.
You learn from each other. And I just started a new position, and the kids, they had me one day, and they saw me in the hall. Miss, are you coming to us today? Are you coming to us today? And it's like they know who you are. Once you walk in the room, they know who you are. And it's like,
I feel appreciated.
I'll be there. But ladies, it's almost that time.
What? Okay. That was deep. Come on, teacher.
So we have talked about, public school. We talked about the pros of doing that, how you have a variety of schools once they get to secondary. We talked about the overcrowding, the cons, and the bullying, and the possible bullying.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, either bullier or the bullied. Yeah. Either one. Just Princeton or Bam Bam.
Or Baby P. Yeah.
Baby P. Baby.
3 different aliases.
Okay. Before I get, who is Baby P?
Baby P is his in between nap name. So that's the adorable kid. When you see him on Facebook, that's Baby P.
That's Baby P.
When he be reading and stuff, Bam is
yeah.
And then Princeton is who he's gonna be great. He's gonna be great behind that.
You know what? I'm gonna give you a quick story. Let me give you a quick story. Okay, my niece. She's 7 now, but she started off rough. Her name is Brooklyn. But she was not a Brooklyn. That's a cute name.
Yeah.
We don't even know what
she might have been Chi-Town.
She was beyond that. So when we put her in school, got her in school, kindergarten was we started at pre-K3. Pre-K3 was rough because it was her first time getting around a lot of kids and this and that. So we're thinking it's just a social skill adjustment, blah blah blah. Because we pulled up one time, she was sitting in a high chair in the middle because they didn't know what to do with her. So we moved. to kindergarten. Kindergarten, she just so happened to have a teacher that understood her. Make sure whatever teacher you get can understand your kid.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Because if they do not understand your kid and the type of activity your kid have, there are certain cultures that are very active and very loud and tap and move a lot.
Right.
So make sure you get someone that understands your kid.
And don't be afraid to move your child.
Exactly.
I ain't gonna move. Yeah, he gonna move himself too, cause he ready.
no.
But no, I definitely feel you. 'Cause
Yes.
You're right. I think we just get used to just going through the
Yes,
program.
no, move. If your kid is not identifying or that teacher is not identifying with your
Right.
kid,
Shut it down.
move, shut it down.
You're right.
Because that was our best year. That kindergarten year, she understood Brooklyn. She worked with her. She taught her skills as far as, you don't have to be quiet. Look.
Right.
She understood her. Ooh, first grade.
It was a different type of teacher. It happens. You wish that K teacher got promoted to the first grade.
Ooh, different cultures don't understand all cultures.
That's facts.
Do not understand why you loud. And then the kids also know, because Brooklyn told us, she's nice. I can do whatever I want.
Right. Manipulation.
Manipulation. That was that other little girl that's in her. So, rough year. The teacher couldn't handle her. First grade and in school suspension. First grade suspended. First grade because
She couldn't handle it.
She couldn't
Yeah,
handle
did
it.
that too.
She didn't know how to understand her.
Right.
And second grade we're doing good this year.
Oh, this is second grade now. Current.
Currently we're in second grade, and I mean it's a new creature. She's Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Oh, what's the grade?
Brooklyn.
Okay.
But make sure, and we didn't at the time. My brother, he was still, he's trying to figure out things, and he didn't realize. He thought maybe it was by the just moving her up. I told him it's the teacher. Find
Right,
a teacher.
adaptive teacher.
But there was no teacher in the school that could relate.
And she's adjusting now.
Yeah, she's adjusting. She's learned to adjust.
Right.
But they had to put her. They wanted to put her in special education because they thought
It's a way to
Someone's
get rid of
wrong.
her.
that's
A way to
Right.
get
And
rid
that's
of
what
her.
I'm nervous about. Like,
Well,
don't
see,
just
But
push
you're
them
the
off.
advocate.
You're right.
If you ever have an issue, request to sit in on that class because you will most likely find out it's not your child.
No,
It's
it's
the
the
It's
teacher.
it's the teacher or the environment.
Yes.
Use that PTO.
Yep.
You're right.
And that's what
Right.
we did.
Child care time.
Right.
I got about 97 of those.
Right.
Dang. You're
Yes.
right.
But don't
Don't be-
ever be afraid
Don't.
to speak up or say something.
Yeah. Don't.
Yeah.
Because I know before I started working in the school system, I was up at that school every single
be that mother.
day.
Be that mother.
They gonna know them plates.
Get,
I'm
come
reversing.
on, will.
Here she come. Right. Well, I appreciate it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep
So
that in mind.
you be an advocate for your child because no one else will. They're gonna give what they want to give your child. You give what you want your child to have as a parent. Yes. Whatever foundation and social skills you want, that's what you advocate for, and that's what they'll give you because they won't have a choice.
You better come through. Okay.
And with charter schools, if they have the roundtable meetings and you go and show up, most likely that director will stop you before you
Yep.
even speak and say, "What
What
can
you-
we do for
yep.
you?"
Okay, I appreciate
Yep.
that.
Yep. Sure will.
You're right. We are the voice.
You're the voice. You're the voice. But if you don't show up, they're gonna give you what they want you to have.
So I need to go ahead and be trying to put my son on a charter list right now.
Yes.
Would I walk into the school or what I do?
Most of the applications start in January. You have to have them in
Oh, this past year I'm too late. Or I can do it this January's coming up.
this
January
January coming
Okay,
up.
okay. Note to self.
This January coming up
Okay.
for the new school year.
Yeah.
So you need to go and find the charter school that you want. Take a visit to that
Yes.
school, not once but twice.
Yes.
Like I can do those visits now. While school's
Yes,
active.
you can do a tour. You can request a tour. Sometimes they do tours on Saturdays, so you don't have to use that PTO.
I want to use the PTO.
Yeah, use the PTO so
Sick of
you
the
can
job.
see the environment and see
Okay.
what the kids are doing and see
Yes.
what they're not doing. How does the teachers handle the kids? How are the hallways? What the hallways looking like? Are they all running crazy?
Okay.
Or is there an order to what they're doing?
So right now, since my son's not starting next August, I need to fill out these school applications
Yes.
right now.
Now.
Yes.
And then turn them into the administration
Yes.
board at
Yes.
the school? Okay.
Yes.
Most of them you can do online.
Yeah.
Okay, come
yeah.
through.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to do that because I do have it on the TV. Dad did part 1. I guess I'll do part 2 through 7.
But yeah, just make sure you looking at them schools.
Yes.
first.
Right,
Look
right,
at
right.
'em. Look at them. And you have the option to be picky.
Can I, as a parent, come into the school and be a part of the school?
Yes.
They have a volunteer list.
Yes.
They do your background
check and everything.
Clear.
So you can
Yes.
show up anytime you want to.
All the time. Get your little badge, go in, sign in.
Yeah, I want to be a part of the school.
Yes.
Like,
You
somebody
will.
did that for me coming up as a minor. They were my
Yes.
mentor in that program.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
You're going to see me.
Definitely. But ladies, this has been a great conversation. I want to leave y'all with a little nugget, and it's pretty much what I was telling you. When making an important decision on the type of schooling for your child and your child's needs, make sure that it's based upon your family needs and your child's needs. Fight for what's for your kids. Do not accept what someone else wants to give you. You are the advocate. Make sure you are advocating for your kids because you're the only advocate that they have. All right? Now, I have a website for y'all.
Okay.
And this website will give you facts about schools. It will give you facts about wherever you want to send your kids. It's called N as in Nancy, CES.ed.gov/fast facts. Fast, FAST, fast facts. And that, you go to that and you can look up any school and it will tell you about that school. It'll tell you about that area. And it'll tell you any information you need to know. And the government has everybody listed. I was surprised. I was like, oh, this is about, and it's true. It's factual.
NCES.ed.gov
/fast
facts.
Fast facts. Okay. Yes, and you can pick if you want charter school, if you want secondary school, if you want public school, private school, whatever type of school you want.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can go there and check out all the facts.
I see.
Yeah. That's Dayton. That's right there. Yeah.
She was feeling it.
Crooked eye.
That's how I learned to spell Mississippi.
Me
huh?
too. Me too. Every time we cross the Mississippi River,
That's how I
have to
still spell Mississippi.
Right. That's the one. If I can't spell nothing else,
I can spell Mississippi.
I may not know pneumonia, but I can spell Mississippi. Try me.
Well, I want to thank you, ladies. Like I told y'all, this was going to be an entertaining show. It was entertaining and very informative at the same time. Stay tuned. Next show, August 20th. It's going to be August.
October.
We
got you.
Well, thank you. Ooh,
Time is flying. I was like, you put
I'm
this
going
fast.
back. Oh.
No, you'd have been going forward. I'm like, dang, she got a show all the way next 20 minutes.
10 months.
She fast.
October 20th.
Okay.
October 20th. It's going to be another informative and another entertaining show. Guaranteed. Check out tomorrow. We got The Man Cave at 9 p.m. Check out my YouTube channel, Teachers with an S, R, the letter R, Talking. Teachers are Talking. Check me out. Subscribe, please. And I think that's it. We're done. This was great. I enjoyed y'all, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
And that's Teachers Are Talking.